So, Judge, I want to thank you for joining us at the Rules Committee today. As you know, one of Congress's most important obligations is providing for the common defense of the nation. It'd be impossible for our fighting men and women to do that without the funding and resources that they need. I do want to say that one of the common concerns I hear from constituents is I don't know how to put this delicately, but there's been a lot of deferred maintenance on base housing since the 1990s. And my understanding is from past several years from doing this that there has been a significant amount of catch-up that has occurred. But do you feel the funding necessary for this?
We have got, to answer your question, we've got funding in this bill on that issue. And on top of that, we're on top of the various posts and bases to make sure that they give us a clear picture of what's going on. And so far, they've been very cooperative.
Well, and it's just so important, not just while people are deployed, but while they're stationed here at home. And again, deferred maintenance, as anybody who's owned a home will tell you, it will save money in the short term, but cost you more money in the long term.
I'm deferring maintenance every weekend in my house.
So there's been some discussion in the press that Republicans are forcing veterans to bear the brunt of federal spending cuts. But then in reviewing the legislation, it seems that our veterans' health care programs and veterans' benefits are fully funded. Do you have any thoughts on the disconnect between what is in the bill and how it's being portrayed in the press?
They surprised me with that discussion. We fully funded and more in the healthcare area. So I don't understand where that's coming from.
So we could just refer people to read the bill when they've got questions in that regard.
Well, it's one of my Democrat friends told me it's just politics.
Okay. I have a relatively parochial issue. Chairman Bosto of the Veterans Committee has been helping me with this, but it has been a long struggle. The VA in Denton, the Denton community-based outpatient clinic, needs to be expanded to allow for more mental health services for veterans in our North Texas area. Funding has been provided by the Appropriations Committee for year over year, but the promises made on the ground by the VA have been empty. A contract gets close to being awarded for the construction, but then it gets delayed for 10 months, 12 months. And this has been going on for 8 years. The VA has recognized the problem, but has done nothing for the veterans in my hometown who've not had the proper mental health services that they deserve. So with Congress controlling the power of the purse, what can be done to make certain that the VA does the job that they've actually been instructed to do, both by the authorizing VA committee and by your subcommittee in appropriations?
This bill that we're talking about here funds $16.5 billion for mental health and $42 million for VA's National Center for PTSD. And we will be watching it and reviewing that throughout the year.
Well, I will provide.
You got a complaint?
Yeah, I got a lot of complaints.
You know how to find my office. Come see me.
Well, you know, I don't have generally a reputation for being a hothead. There's only one meeting that I've ever walked out of, and that was a meeting with the Dallas VA when they refused to continue funding for an outpatient veterans mental health facility. They said we can take care of it all through telehealth. I had a staff member with me that day who was a veteran who was using those mental health services and said telehealth is not meeting the needs of the veterans in the district. So I will follow up with you. I want to be sure that we have the follow through on this. It's great to have the money appropriated, but somehow there's a disconnect on the ground with actually getting the structure built and getting the veterans the care that they need. So we will be watching it. I do want to work.
I'll be willing to help you. I promise.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know the Waco facility, that's their number one priority is mental health.
Yes. I'll yield back my time. I'll recognize the ranking member.